Hello.
Hey,
Hey girl, how you doing? Welcome to
I'm
the Auntie Hour.
good. Welcome back. How you been?
Good, good. Look at you. You looking all fabulous and whatnot.
I'm back
Look
from my
at
short
you
hair.
showing that dimple.
This is just a reminder that that I smile. That's all that is. It's like the little dent. Like you better smile. Like, oh yeah, I smile. That's all that is. It's,
You
it's a
know
little
what we're
knuckle punch
doing
to my
today,
face.
right?
hmm We are
We are
back.
talking to Renee again because it is National Masturbation Month and we are going to be talking about it.
Listen, I didn't know
You didn't
until I
know?
didn't know. I'm like, I was looking for this. Like, do I? Am I going to get off from work for this? Is this a paid day off? Like, can I get somebody a mahogany card? Like,
Well, I don't know what that says about me because I was looking forward to
I
this
was
month.
like, we ain't making stuff up. I was like, you know what? This is just a little bit like women who like to get it in. Like, here she go making topics up. I'm like, wait, this is real. Oh, okay. I'm here. I'm here. Okay. I'm here.
Yes. Before we bring Renee out, I have to remind you that what? This is our time.
I like how you say it.
Yes, we about to
I know
we
that's
about
right.
to cut up a little bit on the Auntie Hour today, and we're
Mhm.
welcoming Renee Yvonne to
Hey,
the
Renee.
show.
Welcome
Hey
back,
ladies,
Renee.
thank you. I missed you all. How you doing?
How have you been?
I'm great. I'm doing well.
Oh, I like it. She's great. Good to see you. When you're around, I know it's time to act up. So I'm like, hey,
But
Renee's in the house.
shenanigans will be
Yes,
happening.
we are going to act up.
Yes, we are gonna.
So, Renee,
Hmm.
it's
Are you
National
ready?
Masturbation
It
Month.
is, and it's real, Shatara. It's a real thing. So this happened because so there's a story behind this. I don't know if you know this. So
Tell
you
me.
remember Dr. Joycelyn Elders, who was the
hmm
Surgeon General under Clinton, I believe, and
Okay.
she told people that they should masturbate. This was kind of her thing instead of teaching like abstinence that you teach people to masturbate. She was promptly fired,
Yes.
and a store in a store in San Francisco called Good Vibes loved that idea, and so they sort of made this national masturbation month. That's how this came about.
I'm so glad that you brought up Dr. Elders
Yes,
because
Oh,
it's all about her getting started and getting fired. Unfortunately for
that's
this,
how I got
they
started.
fired her behind those comments
They did.
specifically about making sure that children knew how to
I don't know.
masturbate with the spread of HIV and all that stuff that was
mm,
going on during the Clinton administration. And he promptly asked
Yep,
for her resignation behind
that
that.
was
And she's living her life now. She's
mhm,
good.
he
mhm.
said you
Okay.
got to go. After that, you got to get out.
You got
You.
to go.
Under
But this is
Clinton, under Clinton,
under
you got
Clinton, not Mr.
you got
Saxophone,
Cardi in there, right?
not
Under,
the saxophone
under
player.
Clinton. Yes, under
Not
Clinton.
not the getting. You know
Right.
he was getting
You know,
fellatio.
she has a quote where she says something like 70% of women masturbate, 80% of men do, and the rest of them are liars. Something
Yeah,
like that, she says.
yeah,
Ooh,
Yeah. I paraphrase that, but that's what Dr. Joyce Elder
yeah.
said.
The rest of them are lying. That's what she says.
it's the safest sex you can
So
have.
It
The
is. It
safest,
is.
right?
It's safest.
right.
As long as you wash your hands and sing happy birthday, you'll be all right.
Exactly. 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 So, aside from the pleasure that we get from
Pleasure
masturbating,
principle.
It
Sorry, I'm
uh,
here for it. I'm
No,
sorry.
I
you're
told you
good.
this was
Yeah.
going to be something. Okay. Um, what other benefits do we get? Are there other benefits that we get from self love?
Oh yes, yes. So one of them is what you just mentioned, like it's the safest sex you can have. But the side thing about that, or the main thing I should say about that, is that when you are masturbating, you get to learn your body, and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know. They don't know sometimes what feels really good to them because they've never taken the time to really explore their entire body. So not just your genitals, but everything. Like, does it feel good when you give yourself a scalp massage or run your hands down your neck, your body, your breasts, your legs, your feet? Like, all of that is a part of that and can be a part of your masturbation, your self-love process. The other thing is that masturbating, if you suffer from insomnia, and I know there's a wide range of that, but if it's just kind of that mild insomnia where you don't have to go on Lunesta yet, masturbate. It'll put you to sleep. An orgasm will put you to sleep. And then the third
Sarah,
one
I see you
is
trying to hold it together.
it puts you to sleep. That's my go-to. And then
Kegels work out the same way. The Kegels do you right. Sorry.
And then one of the other things that masturbation will do for you is for mild pain, it releases chemicals. When you masturbate and orgasm, it'll release chemicals that'll help with mild pain. So if you're dealing with some type of like back pain or a headache, that's nothing severe. I'm not talking about like you have chronic arthritis, but with mild pain, it does help to relieve that pain. It releases chemicals that help to do that. So there's a lot of benefits in masturbation besides just coming. But that's what most people. That's
okay, and it's the stress reliever.
It's a definite stress reliever.
Okay, and I just got to tell you, this makes me think of I used to watch the show The Millionaire Matchmaker with Patty Stringer back in the day, and she would ask these women who were looking for men. She would say, "Now, are you abstinent? What is your situation?" And the main thing was, "Are you at least masturbating?" Because some of that stress shows up on your face, shows up in your behavior, shows up in how you move, and I don't want you out with these men all, lack of a better word, horn dogged up. I need a millionaire man, when the D is important as well. So she's like, just wanted to know, like, and I know some guys, they may masturbate before they go out, so that way they can release. So she was saying for women it's the same thing. Like, you will have stress lines in your face. Like, we need to have a constant, consistent release. Because it's important to our health. Yes. Like, I learned something.
Yes, and sexual energy is very potent. I don't think we realize that. Like, there's a lot of things. I have not practiced this enough to talk about this as an expert, but I know that there are things that you're trying to manifest in your life, that you can do that through masturbation too. So there's a lot of potent sexual energy in there that we don't really know how to harness, especially as women. And so there's a lot there that you can do.
Whoa, take it back. Bring it back. Come rewind. So you telling me that this $60 million that I'm looking for, I can yum Rengen on myself?
Yes. Just rub it out. Just rub it into existence.
Yes.
You know where that $60 million came from.
That's masturbation. Yes.
Okay. I like
Just
it.
rub it into existence.
Yes.
Who would have thought?
I know.
Yeah.
I think that's why people try to keep it from us, because there's so much there.
Well, I agree. There's so much to it, but it is about knowing yourself. It is a process of knowing yourself. And I know at some point, being young, that's not something that's really taught. It's just, don't bring home no babies. And it's on the heels of having, intercourse.
And it depends on how you were raised too. Like, if as a kid, you don't really know what you're doing, right? You just know that you're touching something and it feels pleasurable. But if you get caught, doing it, and depending on how your guardian says it, like, don't do that and slap your hand away, then you start to think it's something wrong with it. And now you're sneaking and doing it. And that's why people are like, going places sneaking and doing it. As opposed to if your parents just says okay and they just leave it alone, because they realize it's not sexual. They're 5, they don't know, they just know that what they're doing feels good. So it also depends on that, and that if you have that that positive reinforcement of masturbation, you don't grow up with it. You don't grow up having shame about it either. So you're more likely to do it and explore more.
Okay. I don't think it was a topic in my household. Now I think about it.
Definitely one in mine.
It was.
Oh yes.
My
mother was a Jehovah's Witness. Is a Jehovah's Witness. So anything that has to do with, if you're not married, and any pleasure that you want to experience whatsoever, it's just totally looked down on. And I always felt like the whole point was to make you feel shame about things that occur naturally in your body.
So growing
But
up,
I clearly that did not work for me.
I went to Catholic school, so we learned a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
oh, so the Jehovah's Witness, don't touch yourself, even if it's your, your own pleasure. It's shameful. And in
Mhm.
Catholic school, what is it? You learn that it's okay.
You learn that you'll go blind. We were taught we would go blind if we masturbated.
I
And
heard that.
I went home, I tested it out, and I was like,
See. So
Wow.
you and I were thinking the same way. Let me try this and
Uh-huh.
see if fire and brimstone is going to rain down on me. Let me see.
let me
See,
see.
that's how I was too.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got going and you was like, I can still see. Wait a minute.
It didn't make any sense to me. I was like, I don't understand how this connects to my eyes. Like none of that.
Right.
It just didn't make sense.
the things they teach us when we're young, right? Like,
Mhm.
and you would think that because it's the safest sex there is, you would think that it would almost be, I don't know, maybe encouraged, if not at least looked down upon.
Yes,
Like
you would think
it,
so.
you would think. But I think sometime when kids are young, I remember working in healthcare, and there was a kid who had a little mental delay. And yeah, as a teenager, he would come outside and he would be like, hard, and he didn't really understand what was happening to him. So the doctors pretty much said, like, we have to give him his time. Like, he doesn't even understand.
Right.
And he'll like figure it out. Like you have to give him his time. Because if not, that stress, you start acting out. And I'll never forget that. The doctor was like, we just have to give him his time. I was like, oh, okay. So if he's in the bathroom for 20 minutes, you okay in there? Give him his time. Okay. It's
Renee,
important.
do you find that there are still women that have shame attached to this subject? I'm encountering that still, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Do you find that in your practice to be the case?
Yeah, especially if it's religious based, because there's a strong teaching about not doing that. Like sex is inside of marriage, and it should only be penis and vagina, and you don't need masturbation. So yes, I have encountered that, and subsequently, typically they don't have orgasms either because they don't know their body that well, and they don't know how to tell their partner what to do because they don't know what feels good. And it's sad when you meet someone who's 30, 40, 50 years old, and they've never had an orgasm, and they don't know how to. They don't know even where to start. I mean, it's
And they probably have a bad attitude. that old mean church lady. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You waving as a fan. That's the only thing you waving as a fan. That's
orgasms do make people happier. I will attest to that. People are nicer.
Stuck, like, she was a little stank. She was a little stank.
I am convinced of that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I am convinced that. I'm like, if she had an orgasm, she'd probably be a lot happier.
Yeah, right.
You can tell. I think you can tell when a woman is satisfied.
Yeah,
just
there's a
kind of
different walk in your step.
Yeah.
Yes, this
You got on pretty underwear. You want to show people.
Hello. It's like a string on.
Like,
I'm good.
Your hair's glossy.
Yes, you're so right. It's like when you look good and people go like, "Where you going? You got a date?" You go somewhere later, and it's like, no, like this is how I feel about me. Like, I love me, like all the time, head to toe. Like, not to say like I don't need you, but no, I'm good over here. Like, I'm good. I think I think I'm late to the game, to be honest with you. And when I figured out what I could do for myself by myself, now you guys are making me think. I had a joke about it, and in my stand-up, I would joke about how I would tell my man like peace. And however it went, that's what it was all about. Like, when I figured out what I could do for myself by myself, I had a whole different type of swag. It was a whole different. But again, I think looking back at it, I was a little late to the game. But I'm here.
But you're here. You're here now.
I'm glad.
See, I don't have good attitude.
I'm so glad you made it.
That's okay.
Good attitude, skin is glowing. You know,
The
I'm
skin
all
is glowing. Your hair is
Mhm.
glossy.
the endorphins are
All the
pumping.
things.
Yes.
I'm in good
So
shape.
I heard a little birdie told me that you have some new toys to show us, Renee, to
Not
help
a
us in our
little joy.
quest.
I love toys. So,
But I love toys.
I love toys. So I want to start. So before we do that, I want to start by I want to show like there's different ways that you can masturbate. And I think sometimes we get stuck in a rut and do it like we do what works, right? We know like, okay, I got to get one out. Let me just do the thing and I'm done, right? And so
Get my attitude right.
I think one I think one of the things to think about is trying different positions. So if you're always on your back, maybe you get on all fours or you lay on your stomach and you let, if you have a toy, you let it vibrate that way, if that's what you're doing. Maybe you sit up on the edge of the bed or in a chair. So just trying different techniques can also help with masturbation. Sometimes if you're, so this is Vivian, my vulva puppet.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
hey, Vivian. Hey, girl.
Okay. And so, so, so the clitoris, this is
Talk
what
about prepared.
right? The clitoris usually is right under here. And this is the part that the head of it is what most people see, right? And so this is typically what you go for because usually that's when you can have an orgasm. But the entire clitoris looks like this. Not this big, obviously. It's a little smaller than this. But it looks like all of this. So this is the head of it.
Who is that?
Right. Every time I show this in coaching to the men who all know everything about a woman, they're all like, what is that? And I'm like, this is a clitoris.
She said
So
not this big, obviously.
yeah, this is right. So it's so there's the head here. This is the part that you normally rub. These are called the crua, and they sit underneath under here, under the vulva. And then there's the vestibular bulbs, and they sit under the labia. And this feels really good. So sometimes when I've been doing this informal survey. I'm always asking the couples. I'm like, do you like when your partner does that DJ thing on your clit? And all the women have been like, I hate that. And the guys are like, you do? She's like, yes. And so I said, so this is what you do instead. Take 2 fingers like this and rub it down inside the inner labia. It also hits the head, but not direct stimulation like this.
Okay.
And so this feels really good. So you can do that to yourself. So that's one of the techniques you can try too. If you're like tired of this, then you could just try this and see what it's like. You can pull on the outer lips to masturbate or the inner lips to pull it out. This also helps in some I'll say this, in Rwanda, there's a technique called kunyaza, and it helps women to squirt. One of the things that they do is they teach the women to pull the inner labia out, which helps with squirting. So that's something you can do too.
And where is this at now?
Rwanda, they teach this. But you can do it in America. You can do it in New York. You don't have to go to Rwanda.
I don't have to go
I
to
don't,
Rwanda.
listen, my passport needs, hey, you never know. Like, what was you doing in Rwanda?
Yeah.
Well,
But you know what? Think about what that does and how that liberates the women. Think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Just that knowledge and teaching that technique. Think about what that does for them.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's where I need to be headed to Rwanda.
is that something all women can do?
Yeah, you can pull your labia. It's the belief that if you kind of just stretch it a little, that it just helps with squirting. Now the technique kunyaza is different. It's not that's a different part of the technique. It involves a man. But
there we go. He's always coming back.
it's a great technique. Though. I'm not gonna bash it at all.
Okay. Then the man has to come in after. Duh.
Yes, yeah. But this is supposed, but pulling on it is supposed to. It helps with that because you're pulling the labia apart a little bit, making it easier.
And you're saying it helps with squirting.
It helps with squirting.
And is that something that all women have potential to do?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I can see those wheels turning in your mind, Shatara.
Everybody is pretending.
I see it too. She's like, what? I'm
I'm in
trying
here
to
stretching
fight.
shit out, y'all. Let me call you back.
Oh, y'all are
Kunyaza. Let me call. I get my kunyaza on. Let me call you back.
yeah, it's so I'll have to talk about that on another show because that does involve a guy. But this is like the prelim to good kunyaza. I'll put it that way.
Kunyaza.
Wow.
You are in
So the
trouble.
toys. So the toys. So one of the things that also in masturbation, set the mood if you need to. Like sometimes you just got like, I just gotta get one. But sometimes you want to set the mood, right? It's like, let me make this an event for me. It may be candles or incense or the mood lighting, whatever. And you kind of, set that scene so that you could just like, I'm going to bask in the love of me tonight. So that could be again like the warm wax candles. I like to say just explore your whole body, and you can do that with yourself. It might be different textures that you try out. Like it could be taking a soft flogger and running it across your body. It might be ice cubes. Just play and see what feels good without you getting to your genitals right away. But once you hit your genitals, there's toys you can use. Once you get there. So I'm going to show a bunch of different things real quick. So this one is called the manatee. This is actually a penis vibrator. It goes up the side of penis. However, it's really good for the nipples. And so you can use this because it vibrates. You can get your nipple right in there and it vibrates. It feels really, really good. So this is one, it's a multi-use toys by a company called Fun Factory. And so this is one that you can use for that. So play with the whole body. Don't leave anything out. Okay. The next ones I'm going to show you are bedroom candy toys. So I love this one because it's unique and different. It's called Adventure 2. So it has a G-spot stimulator, and then it has a clitoral one and one that hits the anus. So it doesn't go inside, it just hits the back. So it hits all three spots at once. So it's
a threesome in one.
It's a threesome in one.
The trifecta.
Now, what website is that on?
I will send you the link.
I'm
gonna send you all the link
right now.
I like that. That looks like a little accessory. I'm just ordering accessories from Nordstrom.
Yes, you're right. This one is called I'm Hooked. And it's a G-spot stimulator. So it goes in and you see it. You know how they tell you to go in and do this to hit the G-spot? Mm-hmm. This does that for you and vibrates. So it goes in, hooks around, and hits the G-spot.
That doesn't look safe. Looks like you know what? Don't listen to me.
It works. It's good. It works.
I don't know what I was if I should say this, but I am.
Go ahead.
I remember there being this whole thing that you had to get a man that had a hook.
Oh yes.
There was this whole thing about the hook.
Yes.
They were very popular.
Have you ever?
Guys with the hooks. So that explains why.
Yes, because it hits. Yeah, it's not just going in like this. It's doing this and hitting. If it's curved the right way, you don't want to be curved this.
I had to leave.
Where did she go? Like that, yes. Just like that.
I was in the grocery store the other day, and I was like, "Oh, of all this one made it home with me." Let's put it like that. Of all of the 700 on the
okay, that's the one you picked up.
Mm-hmm.
The law of attraction. You see that, girl?
Yes. That did it. That was it. So they hit the G-spot, and that's perfect. There's a bunch of different clitoral stimulators on the market. This one's called the Womanizer. These are heaven. If you don't have one, I insist you get one. So the Womanizer goes on the clitoris. So it goes right on the clitoris, right here.
Okay, Vivian, there you go.
It stimulates this sucking noise. It's like that. It kind of does that.
Does it? It makes
I'm gonna get that and call it Idris Elba.
Yeah, right. Yes, you do come about 2 minutes. It's amazing. It's awesome. And then if you like a little anal stimulation, you can get a vibrating anal plug. So Shatara's whole face.
It's like a gnome hat.
Her whole face.
Ouch. You better get back from around there.
So
This
this isn't it does look big, but it's actually not. Like there's definitely bigger ones than this.
Oh,
But
I'm not
this is
fucked
really
like that.
tiny.
Okay.
What you want to do with anal plugs is there's a couple things. You want to make sure it has a flared bottom like this because you don't want it to get lost.
Oh.
And then you want to use a lot of lube on it because the anus is not self-lubricating like the vagina. And you want the flared bottom because the vagina is a cul-de-sac, the anus is a highway. So anything you put in the vagina will come out. You put something in your anus that doesn't have a flared bottom and you're going to the ER. So explaining why there are things in your butt. So you definitely want a flared bottom to stop.
Hold on. Oh, wait. I want to go back. The anus is a cul-de-sac.
The vagina is a cul-de-sac.
Okay, the vagina is a cul-de-sac. Come out. Mm-hmm. And the anus is a
highway.
The highway.
Yeah.
You won't go in
your anus.
No exits.
It has no exits. I mean, It does, but it's a surgery. You don't you
don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want a surgical exit.
No.
Okay.
But the vagina, if you put something in the vagina, it's coming out.
Okay, like doctor, and be like, we got to talk. It's up there. It's in the highway. I lost it in the highway.
So here's the thing. So you can blend all of these. So let's say you're like, I'm gonna play around with some anal stimulation. Also want to do clitoral. So you've got, you can play around with your masturbation technique to find out what's good before you're with a partner. So you can do all of those things because they can, like this will sit there. This is gonna stay in. So your hands are free to do whatever else you want to do to your body. And that way you can just kind of play and see what feels good. Then when you're with a partner, you can say, I really like this. I really like to be touched this way. I like this amount of stimulation. I like when this is touched because you've done it. So that's some of the toys I have. And then you can also just play around with different, I mentioned earlier, like different textures. So like, so you might want to play around with like a flogger like this. It's hard to see. So it's soft fur. So it's not meant for impact. It's not a spanking one. But you could play around with something like this on your body and you're like, okay, I know I like soft textures, or I like chains, or I like velvet. You'll know what those things are. And so when you're with a partner, you'll know how to tell them what you want and what feels good to you. And we're not wasting each other's time. Like there's nothing worse than like laying there and he's doing something. You're like, my taxes still need to be done and I need to do a load of laundry. And I'm dealing with this. Right? There's nothing worse than that when you're thinking about all the other non-exciting things you should be doing. And so what eliminates that is knowing what feels good to you. And so not that you can police him or her around, but so that you can just say, it feels really good when you do this. I really like this. I really like my clitoris stimulated this way as opposed to that DJ thing. I really like, I really like my nipples sucked, but I want them sucked hard. Like you can really say that and then have that conversation. So you're having good sex because you want to have an orgasm and you want to be close to your partner. Whatever the goal is, you want to meet the goal. You don't want to be laying there thinking about doing your taxes.
I'm not. Yep.
That's not what
Ladder space to waste. I'm drinking because I want to get tipsy, not because I'm trying to be cute. We know
Exactly.
We know what we're here for.
Exactly.
So it almost sounds like masturbation is also. Well, my neighbors don't hear me. They're like, "What is she doing over there?" It's also a good way to work on your sexual confidence.
Yes.
Right? Because to be able to say to somebody like, this is what I like, and it does take a bit of a, because you may get caught up in feeling self-conscious, like, oh my God, I'm gonna sound like a freak, or blah, 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 blah. See, me, I really don't care. See, so I'm a little different. But, at some point, some people may really feel a little bit self-conscious about making these requests or even just saying, like, I know what I like.
Yeah. Some people do, but you're right. It does build your sexual confidence. to communicate what you want to your partner. And again, not policing like move to the left, to the right, over here. It's not that. It's really just saying, I really like when this is done to me, as opposed to I hate when you do that. Right? That's different. And so saying it in a way that's like, I really like this done, or really feels good when you do this to me, and you're letting your partner know, so they're not guessing. They don't want to be down there either if you're not feeling good. If you're. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to be there. So, and check in. So that's why I say, if you know what you like, you can communicate that to your partner. It's not a secret.
What you like. Does masturbating ever get old? And what I mean by that is there like, I know what they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I see like a lot of commercials for like, couples who, need a little assistance because women dry out over years and, things happen. So is masturbation something where as you get older,
it helps to keep everything. Yeah, it does. It helps to keep everything lubricated and juicy. Also, lube. I forgot to mention that. So lube is important. You want to use, if you have silicone-based toys, and I suggest that you get silicone-based toys. I know they're a little bit more pricey, but you can charge them. I don't know about you. There's nothing worse than having a battery-operated toy that dies on you in the middle.
Where's the remote? Where's the remote?
And you have two batteries at least three. Bad.
You sound like you're speaking on experience from that. Yeah.
I switched to all silicone-based rechargeable toys. Rechargeable toys. So you want to use, with silicone toys, you want to use water-based lube, because silicone will kind of eat away at the other silicone if you use a silicone-based lube. But if you're just using your fingers, you can use silicone-based if you're just using your fingers to masturbate. It makes things slicker. It's much slipperier when you use silicone. The water-based is absorbed by the body quickly, but you don't want to ruin your toys because they cost, they're expensive. So you use a water-based lube with that, but you just have to use a lot of it. That's more than you may think you should. And then you want to make sure you clean them. Clean them before you use them. Clean them after you use them. I hear people run them through the dishwasher. I'm not doing that. But they just need mild soap and water.
Ooh. Here's your cup, here's your plate, here's your toy.
Here's your vibrator. What? Yeah, your neighbors come over and empty your dishwasher. They're like, what the?
Oh my God. Never heard that.
So there's toy cleaners that you can get. But you can also just use mild soap and water to clean them off, let them fully dry. And then if you can, most toys now are coming with some type of bag, and you want to store it in that bag. So it's not next to other silicone toys. I'm not the best about that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because sometimes
does a Ziploc bag work okay? Just a little Ziploc?
No, you want to put it in something. You want to put it in something satiny, like your hair. Yeah,
like a bonnet.
Like a bonnet. A bonnet
to protect it and keep it safe and clean.
Yes.
Like your friend. It's your friend. You got to treat it nice.
You got to treat it well.
But listen, this is so common. I was in CVS the other day. And don't you know, by the feminine care pads, tampons, like Mito, all that stuff, don't you know that they have toys?
They do. KY, I think makes them.
So I'm in CVS, check it out, and I'm getting ready to leave. And I, saw them. Somebody must have like changed their mind, like right by the candy aisle when you're walking out, like put it there. And it was like a cute pink color. And I like to buy things because they're just cute sometimes. So I was like, ooh. I was like, will they look at me like I'm some type of freak if I just happen to pick it up? Like, I'm going to get this with the Snicker bar and my Motrin and I would like to use my $10 coupon too.
Yeah, like, you could probably put the Motrin back, buy the pink thing.
Prioritize. Girl, I was
the headache and all the pain goes away. With
the universe is speaking to me. How did this end up right here by the Snicker bar?
Right.
That's it.
Well,
it's common.
I think that's a good thing that they're there because they should be.
Yeah, they're making it accessible.
You don't have to go to the sex toy shop anymore, is what I'm saying. You can go right to where you're picking up your condoms and you can get a toy. So I just sound a little bit old school and naive. Like, did you guys know? Whoa.
I didn't know that till you said it.
I just remember. And I started to notice that when we were thick in the pandemic, when we were thick in the pandemic, I saw that whoever is making Durex, I think it's like a Durex toy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, like in CVS, like this is a big deal. Like anybody else see this? Hello, anybody? So this is common. So for there to be a masturbation day and
A month.
it,
It's a whole month.
Mm-hmm.
look at me, I'm like it's a day.
It's
For
a
it to be the whole month,
31 days.
get it in for the whole month. Wow.
I
I'm
think
calling out a sick from work.
that is perfect. Get it in for the whole month. I like that. That should be
With yourself
that should be the slogan. Get it in with yourself
for the
Yeah.
whole month.
for the
The whole
whole month.
So you
And
have a
try
good
new
attitude.
stuff. Try new stuff while you're doing it. You know, again, different positions. See what feels good. Try a new toy. You can do that for the whole month.
Very
Or you call your
easily.
man in. Have half of the job done.
You have the job.
You get what I'm saying?
It'll
Have
be
half-
glowing. You'll be happier. Yeah, all that.
Mm.
That's a good time. You heard that, baby?
Wow, thank you for coming to tell us and show us more stuff.
Of course,
Goodies.
anytime.
Those are some new ones.
Anytime. You always have some good toys.
Yes,
And
I have
you-
lots
always.
of toys. I could do a show every week on toys.
Just on toys. I believe you.
So
Yes.
No, I'm like ready for you to DM me some of these sites because
I am. I'm gonna send. I'm gonna send a
like.
link. I'm gonna send a link. So when
Okay.
she posts it, you could just go right to the link and buy
All
it.
right.
Oh, that's
We
so
can
awesome.
put
Thank
that.
you.
We can put that link on these, the Facebook and
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Please, thank
Yeah,
you.
'cause there's some great toys. There's a lot of fun stuff out here that's worth trying. Some of it is expensive, so I understand why some people don't try things because sometimes you get like I have some toys in the bottom of my carry thing that I hate. Like I won't throw them away because I spent money on them, but I hate them. And but
Oh,
somebody else might like it. I'm not giving it to them, but I'll show toys because somebody else might like it. I just happen to
Right.
think they're terrible.
So now you just use them as educational.
But they're just
educational
educational
Right.
tools. Yes.
It's
Right.
like, yeah, you could try this. They ask me like, I don't like it. It doesn't work for me. But there's other things that people try and they like. Like everybody really likes the Rose. That's out. You've seen the Rose, the clitoral vibrator.
I've been
Got
hearing
it.
a lot about it.
I have one. It's kind of like this, but it looks like a rose. It's a clitoral stimulator, but it's just shaped like a rose. I don't like it, but but a whole world of women love it. I got it, and I was like, I have better clitoral toys, but that work for me,
Mhm.
right? So I'm not gonna. It's just it's your body. If your body doesn't like it, your body's like, okay, that's not my thing. But
I have a question before we leave. Now, with this toy concept, I know that you showed one toy that is like shakes on a man's penis, right? Are we the main people who need toys? Like, you know what I mean when it comes to like masturbation? Like, that's
I
what
love
that's
that
what I want to know. Like,
So there are more. I'm noticing more and
Are we
more
losers?
men's toys coming out, which has been a lot of fun to share with guys. So this is one of the things I like about this company, Fun Factory, and I have the other toy, but I have the screen up. So, but one of the things I like about the company Fun Factory is that when they make toys, they're universal. Like you can use them in a variety of different ways. So this is technically it's sold as a penis massager.
does it stretch, open up?
It does, yeah, and
Oh,
it has
okay.
little ridges on the inside.
Oh, different
And
sizes.
so, yeah, so you want to put a lot of lube in there, and then you can run it inside the penis. But what I like about it is that you can also use it on the nipples, and so that's a lot of their toys are like that. So they have another toy called the Noe. I know I'm saying it wrong, but it's a cock ring. So it goes around the penis and the balls, and then it has two little ends on it, so it can stimulate the clitoris. Or you could take it off and wear it on your hand and use that to stimulate the nipples too. So there are men's toys. There's some that are just air. There's air suction toys that are very similar to the clitoral one that goes over the head of the penis, and then it simulates getting a blowjob. So there are more toys. I don't know how many guys are buying them and admitting that they're buying them. I see a lot of reviews. So there's somebody behind him.
Somebody. I think of men with like dolls. You know the doll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and there's so many more. I mean, there's so many more than that.
You just had to pose like the doll too. That you should tell her.
You better just hang up on me. Just hang up. Girl,
oh my goodness.
Going downhill. Just hang it up. Hang it up. I'm gonna call your mom. Just hang it up.
But there's so many coming out, and so I was, if somebody wants to try, what I would do is say, have your partner, you buy it for them, and then just test it out, like see. Just see what they think of it by testing it out. And if they object, like I would just like, I'm terrible about this. I turn the lights out, like make it super dark, and then just move it out. And then if they don't like it, then you just stop. Right? It's like reverse consent. It's not.
Okay, no means yes, yes means no. Like safe word.
I don't know.
No, not that. But but because sometimes if you show, like if you go, you show your guy this, and he's like, "What the hell is that?" Right? And then now you got to explain. He doesn't want it, And so if you just got to turn the lights out, just test it out, like give him a blowjob and use this. There's not a lot of complaint, That's yes.
Okay, because it almost comes off as though we're a little more complicated. I like the toys and all, but I feel like we have all of these options when it comes to just we can just use our hand, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas a man, he's like, I already used my hand, like you know what I mean? Like y'all doing all this extra stuff, you know what I mean? And they just go right, whereas us, we just
right.
Men, this is for us. We're like, where my batteries at? Got my toys. You know what I mean? I like velvet. Give me a little bit of that. Let me put this on. Let me, we have so much more going on where it's like, okay, this is just too much. Like, just use your hand. I
think, and a part of it is that, because their genitals are outside and they see them more. Most of us have never looked at our genitals, right? And so to take that mirror and the light, like I've given that as assignments to women sometimes, like I want you to get a mirror, get a light, and just look at it. Like you need to see what's there and what's happening down there, right? Yeah. And so many of us have never done that. So we don't know what's happening down there. Somehow we expect our partner to get down there, especially a man, to go down there and figure out what's happening or where anything is. And we don't know where it is, right? So we can't even direct them to like,
that's true.
Where to go.
That is very true.
So that's a part of it, and that's why masturbation is super important because guys can just like do that. You're like, I love what you just did.
They just go right, You hear the noise, like, and just they just enjoy themselves, like.
Yeah, they're just and so they know what works, and so it's they know the rhythm, they know the hand strength, they know it. We don't necessarily know how fast, how slow, the palm of the hand, the fingertip, like play around with all that. Cause like this is going to feel really different if you rub your clit here than this, or just like, cupping it. Like that feels totally different than other things you do. So if you don't play around and know that, or you can't say to your partner, can you try this out? Like, I just want to see what that feels like if you just do this, like rubbing with this part of your hand as opposed to your finger, or your thumb as opposed to your index. Right. If you don't know to ask that, then they're not going to try it. Why? Because they don't know.
Right. They're busy thinking about the damn selves. That's all. That's neither here nor there. But that's why it's important that you have your confidence and you're on your Tweet. Remember Tweet had a song, "Ooh, there goes my shirt up over my head." Oh my, that song was about her like coming home loving herself, and she found herself like masturbating. People didn't know that. They were like, really? That's what she's singing about? Like, the song's about masturbation.
I remember that song. I didn't know
that. Ooh, there goes my anyway. So she couldn't resist herself is what she was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I knew that's what it was about, but I knew that I love the song.
Yeah. That's
about the lyrics. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it's confidence.
It is. It's confidence. It's not a fake confidence. It's just the ability to be able to communicate and say, I'd like you to try this and to then do it. Like, right. To just say, I'm going to try this and see what happens. Or I'm going to ask my partner to do this. I'm going to ask my partner to masturbate me.
Oh,
All right.
That's how the party starts.
Okay, guys. I mean, I think we can go on and on.
I think Shatari.
Listen here, you want to call me back? Joanna got to go call her mother. You want to call me back? Joanna's feeling holier than thou. She's like,
oh. Renee, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love it.
You.
Loved it. I'm looking forward to the next one, whatever y'all gonna do next. I'll find another month. We can talk about all the months. There's like
I know that's right. She's like, it's President's Day, and you know what the presidents do.
Right.
This girl is crafty. She is crafty. Boy, I tell you.
No. So next month, it's 6/9 is 69 day, right? So you can just talk about sexual positions.
Oh.
Sexual positions.
Joanna, what do you say?
I like it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sounds like a good time.
Let's do it.
All right.
I can find a whole bunch of sex topics for every month. So
okay.
Renee is the bomb. Renee, you're the bomb.
All right. Until next time, guys.
Right,
Thank you. You're so silly. I swear.
I don't know which one of us brings it out of the other, but together we're not good.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
You shouldn't be left alone. I can say.
No, we can't. My face is hurting from laughing.
Who's calling me back? Which one of y'all gonna call me back? Who will call me back? Call me.
Call me, guys. I'll see you guys later. Thank you all for watching.
You're welcome.
Till next time.
Bye-bye.
And I'm going to send the link so you can check it out.
Yes, please.
Right, yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.